I saw a movie and it pissed people off that I didn't hate it. Steven, I've never experienced this before. I've experienced, no. Here's the thing. And I understand there are going to be people out there probably miserable, terrible, awful, unlovable. I'm just kidding. You're not unlovable. You could be saved by just like being decent. But these people out there, I understand they're going to be like, oh, he's just trying to be whatever or whatever. Steven, you've known me since high school. I just don't care what people think of movies or books or music. I just like what I like, and I'm happy to like it, and I hope I
Hmm.
meet other people who like it. I've always been that way my whole life. I don't think I'm never like, oh, if you don't like what I like, you're inferior. I don't feel that way at all. But I truly don't care, right? So like it shocks me to experience something like this because it's real weird, dude. Like it's real weird to go online and just be like, this movie wasn't as bad as everyone thought it was. And people called me so many names.
Those Zack Snyder boys, I'm telling you, man, they're the bane of the
You,
internet.
you know what sucks about that? You know what sucks about that, Steven? Like, I don't hate Zack Snyder. Just like I don't
I don't either,
just like I don't
but
hate Rick and Morty. But like
yeah.
their fans make it impossible to navigate the internet with any amount of joy if you pass, not even pass through their neighborhood, if they happen to see your light on. You know what I mean? Like they're like, I'm gonna egg your house. I'm like, I wish you just would stay off my street because like no one here likes you. Like this is insane. Dude, I went with Carl's, I went with my wife to go see Supergirl because I'm a person who enjoys movies and superhero movies and enjoying time with my wife. So I went to go see Supergirl, and dude, it was a fun movie. It's a fun movie.
I mean, the trailer kind of set that tone, right? I mean, she's like drinking and like trying to find herself and is like in the, in
Yeah,
the middle of the universe.
I 100% just from watching the first trailer for it, I was like, okay, yeah, this is a movie about her stumbling through whatever she's going through and like kind of coming to terms with the loss of her planet and finding herself a new place, a new identity and new home, whatever that may be, and however that may look. And they did it in what I thought was like a really fun way. I was just, well, because Steven, the easiest thing they could have done was just been like, hey, here's someone, this is how they gain their powers, this is how they learn their powers, this is the opposition that they met that has powers similar to theirs but slightly stronger. This is how they overcame that by using what's important to them or what they're capable of, not necessarily the powers, but the power within. And then here they are now, they're a superhero once that they've, reached that apotheosis or whatever it is, and the bad person is gone. But that's not the case. They were just like, hey, we're going to have this person who's stumbling through this, who meets someone who also has lost things, and now we're going to we're going to have these two characters kind of meet in a collision course of traumatic situations, and kind of I don't know, just like navigate that together. And dude, such a fun, unique way. And like, but here's
Was
the thing.
Jason Momoa great as Lobo, by the way?
My problem with Jason Momoa's Lobo is just the fact that it's live action in general. Like, and that's not.
Mm.
I'm saying like I feel like the same way I feel about Hellboy in live action. As much as I like Ron Perlman, he's great. It's so hard to get that like the sharp shadows, like the really cool look of Lobo. Because when you think of Lobo, Steven, when I think of Lobo, I think of a Ninja Turtle, right? I think, how are
Hmm.
you gonna make a teenage mutant Ninja Turtle like Ninja Turtle cool? Like, how does that work? But it does. It does work. But when you think of Lobo, it's like, oh, he's a cigar chomping, motorcycle riding,
Hmm.
space bounty hunter. Where it's like, all right,
Yeah.
listen, it's cool and it's stupid. At the same time, it can be both super badass and super cheesy and silly, and it is, and that's fine. And dude, I enjoyed it. I really liked his character. I thought it was fun. I didn't think he was over or underused. I didn't think he was absolutely necessary. And yeah, I do have like some I have some things like about the movie where I'm like, they could have done this or this. But overall, Steven, that was my point, and that's why I wanted to bring it up. I don't think it's like, oh, 10 out of 10, best movie of all time, but it doesn't have to be. Why, like, what happened? What happened to us? Why do we
To
think,
be fair, we got to remember that the Superman movie got a lot of crap too from people. Like,
oh, it did?
not as much as Supergirl, but it did. And I mean, that Superman movie was awesome. It was amazing. But like, um, I think people are just, I don't know. I really do think it's just the monkey bots.
Yeah,
Just like I
it's
really do.
bonkers,
There's
dude.
no way
But
there's this many people that hate it that much. You know.
but the funniest thing is like someone. Let me just. I'm gonna share a couple of things that people actually said to me. I wrote on Twitter, X, whatever. I saw. This is my whole post. This is it. 3 sentences. I saw Supergirl. The aggressive hate campaign is silly. That was a good time. That was it. That was it. That's all I wrote, right? Dude, people called me a liar.
It's an opinion, guys. You
Yeah,
can't lie.
yeah.
You can't lie.
I was like, I had a good time. They're like, no, you didn't tell the truth. Just tell the truth. I'm like, what do you mean? Dude, like this one guy was like calling, he's like, oh, you're gay and all this stuff. Like people are like, oh, the studio's laughing at you. Someone called me, excuse my language, but they said, of course you soy boy pussy types like the movie. Like, dude, like all this like super. But Steven, I don't care about any of these people. It's what like. What do you mean? What are you doing? You saw a post that said I had a good time, and you were like, I wish you did it. I sure. I was like,
Like you have to like when you're that person, right? You really have to sit back
yeah,
and just think, what are you doing with your life, man? Like what's going on in your world that
yeah,
this is important to you to
yeah,
dedicate your energy to online? Because it's not for the lulls. You're just literally like you're
yeah.
mad about this. You
You're
don't take
being, yeah,
human beings are naturally selfish. So like you're not doing this unless it's to satisfy something within you. And what it's satisfying is that I don't know, man. It's so crazy. I literally saw a post that said we could have had this, and it was like Henry Cavill holding Sydney Sweeney as Supergirl, and it's like,
that's
first of all, is it Millie Alcock? Is that her name?
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I not that she needs to be like over the top beautiful,
right.
but
I know what you're saying. Yeah,
if Millie walked up to any of these guys in real life, she would be the most beautiful woman in the room. You know what I'm saying? Like it
of
is
course.
so crazy how they can pick
Dude,
at people's characteristics and details because Hollywood has so many pretty faces that if someone looks even a little different besides the set mold of like
yeah,
certain cosmetic surgeries and stuff,
right.
they are automatically deemed ugly. But like you would be speechless if she walked up to you and said something to you. Like, I mean, I think that argument's dumb anyway,
Of
but
course.
it's crazy to me
Yeah.
that like these people would even think to call her ugly because they would
Yeah.
fold like a lawn chair.
Dude,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's hilarious. Like someone posted a like side by side image of like the person who played Supergirl in the previous movie and like the Flash, and then the person, and then Millie Alcock. They and it side by side, and of course they use a picture of her when she's drunk in the movie, like making a drunk face. So like, oh, this is what you want. A lot of people, Steven, a lot of people were mad at the fact that they had Crypto pee on a newspaper that had Superman's face on it. They're like, "That's what you like? You like pissing on Superman?" And I was like, "Wait, this is like your hill? This is what you're dying on? You're like, oh, you can't have silly dog pee on a newspaper with Superman's face because you're saying you're oh, God." What is happening, dude? And I understand. I think you're right. I think it is like the Million Monkeys situation, but I just want everyone out there to understand, like, please don't let them win. I am begging you. Don't fight with them. Literally block, ignore, mute, whatever. But like, please talk about things you love. I don't care what it is. Even if you hate this Supergirl and you love Zack Snyder, just go love the Justice League. Just go
yeah,
love Man of
or yeah,
Steel.
instead
Go
of
love
crapping on on what's relevant, like what's in before you now, say like, oh, I really liked this scene from this
Dude,
movie in
yes,
Justice League. You know
I'm.
what I'm saying?
Oh my God, I can't tell you enough. Like, if guys, it's literally societal artificial selection, right? Like, this is how it's
Mhm.
going to work. If all you do is say what you don't like, you're just like, I hate this Supergirl, blah 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 blah. We're just gonna eventually get less and less of this stuff. Like, people, if you don't go see these movies because you're like, oh my God, she's ugly, then we're just not gonna get this stuff. Those of you born recently don't understand how lucky we are right now. Okay, like
If you
like
like anything like
if you,
comics related,
yeah, if you
like
like
there
any
was a
comics
drought.
related stuff, there was a huge drought. Not just a huge drought, guys. Okay, if you're a Daredevil fan, right, you have to be with me. If you're a Punisher fan, you have to be with me, right? Because this is the thing, right? If you're a Daredevil fan, you were like, oh man. there was that one episode of Incredible Hulk, or like that one like short where it was like the trial of the Incredible Hulk, where Matt Murdock was his lawyer, and we got a little bit of Daredevil love. Then after that, it was nothing until Ben Affleck, and we got Ben
when
Affleck with the
when we got the
worst
sick
CG.
use of the Evanescence song with a rain sequence of using size and training.
Oh, it was just, and then after that, they were like, "Oh man, we really boned this up. We can never do Daredevil again." Then they're like, "All right, we'll try one
Hold
more
on.
time." Then we got a good Daredevil. We're like, "Oh man, we're all like on board with this." And then they canceled it. But guess
Yeah.
what? People were like, guess what people were like? We love this. We love this Daredevil. And guess what happened? They brought him back, and they're
Brought him
like,
back.
"Oh, okay.
They
Well,
brought him.
we got you. We're gonna wait. People actually like this. Oh my God! Oh, people are talking about things they love, and we brought him back. Punisher. We got freaking Dolph Lundgren, and they were like, "Oh, we're never doing that again." He was naked in a sewer, and there were no turtles around. What are we doing with our lives? And then we stopped, and they were like, "Oh, we're never gonna get that again. Sorry, sorry, sorry." And then we got freaking Thomas Jane, which like, guys, I mean, it was watchable. It's not like the worst thing ever, but like and then
It's not. Oh, then what? We got
then
Punisher
Punisher
Warzone.
Warzone, right? And then which gets a little sillier and more violent, and we get the bazooka and stuff. Then it jumps and we get the John Bernthal in the Daredevil series and a Punisher series, and then in the movie.
And like seriously, John, he's like one of my favorite MCU set pieces. Honestly, like he's so good as the Punisher. It's so great.
Yeah, dude. But all this to say, it's okay if you don't like the Supergirl. We had another one 2 years ago. You don't know what's going to happen, right? Things might change,
Mm-hmm.
but you might also love this Supergirl in 2 years. Let them cook. Stop acting as if everything is the worst thing in the world, or every single thing you don't like defines the entirety of that thing. It doesn't make sense. There are things you will like, if even if you hate Millie Alcock or whatever. If you don't like her face, there are things you'll like about the movie. If you don't like Jason Momoa, there are things you'll like about the movie. I promise. And if you don't, go find something you like. It's so silly. It's so absurd. And it's okay to have conversations about it. But this weird hatred where not only are you talking about the movie and how much you hate it, but you're like aggressively like trying to make people feel bad for enjoying it is wild. Oh my God. I know none of those people are watching this, but if you are, go ahead, hit the dislike button, and we don't care. Just go somewhere else and watch a show that you actually enjoy. What are we doing?
Jokes on you. This is just a journal. This is just a journal, so we stay on task. Okay.
That's all this is. It's all it's ever been. So yeah, we're gonna complain, and we're gonna be thankful, and we're gonna share the things we love, and we're gonna share the things we don't. But like, oh my goodness, if you're one of those people who has an issue just like and can't just find something good despite the weird quicksand of the world, this isn't the place for you, because we have issues and we get through them without freaking treating every single one like it's a freaking vampire. Like, this is crazy. Like there are learning experiences, there are things that we're going through that we're going to take the best out of, and we're getting through it together. Anyway, we should probably get to our actual show. I didn't realize we were going to talk about Supergirl for this long, but I got mad. I'm mad at the internet for just being so miserable. So go watch Supergirl, or don't. I don't care. I'm not your mom, or am I? Stay tuned for the show. Hello, welcome to We Have Issues. I'm your mom.
I'm your dad.
Every week, my best friend, your dad, and I get together and we do our best to overcome the various issues and obstacles that life throws away in order to get something done. Every week, we just get together and we kind of talk about our comics, but we also talk about the things we've experienced and the various distractions and nonsense that life throws away. Stephen, will you please? I've been talking for way too long. Will you tell the people about our show and our books a little bit?
Anthony and I are two best friends. We've been best friends since high school. We've worked on numerous projects that failed, and then we finally started this podcast and started kicking butt with our first title, Play It Again, which was a hold on,
Then my
Play It Again.
graphic novel musical. We did it.
Yes, we did it, and that project was successfully funded and has started our wave of comic creation with our current series, Deathless, which Deathless is a superhero culty comedy comic. No, supernatural superhero cult. culty comedy comic called Deathless, and we are on issue 4 of that, whose Kickstarter was just funded. We are still buttoning up issue 4 while we work on our side project, Bloodlust, for another person. Anyways, we're really busy, guys. We started this podcast when we were not working on comics, and now here we are. We're making comics for people. We're making our own comics. It's going good.
It's going great. We are very we're Steve and I are tired, guys. Let me tell you, I'm gonna give you a brief overview of what this show is gonna be this week. So this week, I wrote it all down. Let's see. We have we Steven, I learned about some reality altering substances that are, dude, honestly, it's kind of brain shattering. I'm not gonna like it's I'm not overselling this. I promise. It's something that I learned this week that I'm like, this kind of changes everything. It makes me like rethink all of reality. So we're gonna talk about that. We're also gonna talk about what we've done this week with our comic book, just a little bit. And then we have questions from the colony where we allowed people to ask us a bunch of questions, and we do have some like fun questions this week. And then we'll just do like a
Awesome.
quick wrap up of what we're gonna do. But Steven, I have to bring this up. I learned something, dude. I have my job. I have some downtime every once in a while between projects. I like wait for them to tell me what to do or whatever it may be. So sometimes I'll look at my phone and I'll go on social media, but sometimes I'll just sit there and like look up random things and just like kind of go down rabbit holes to find just fun stuff for my brain to eat. Stephen, I found out about a mushroom called the Lenmoa Asiatica mushroom. Dude. Okay.
Never heard of it.
Steven, Steven, it's okay. This is a mushroom. It's regionally known as the Jian Shao Tring mushroom. It means blue of touch. So when you touch this mushroom or cut this mushroom, its flesh becomes blue. Like almost like a fey creature changing shape as you like bruise it, but it's like a brighter blue, right? Um, Steven, when this mushroom is consumed raw or undercooked, it creates hallucinations, right? Which we're all familiar with, like psilocybin.
Mushrooms seem to have this factor with humans and other species of it. So
So Stephen, if I ask you, if I'm like, okay, Stephen, when people do shrooms, what do they experience generally when they do psilocybin
see,
mushrooms?
I've never personally done them, but I've heard that it's like vibes and like water, like sounds are like funny and things like that. I've never really done them, but I've heard that you can trip to some extent, not to the degree of acid, but similar variations of it.
Right. So it's like you do have hallucinations and they're light and space is different, the walls might be different, that sort of thing.
Moving and stuff like
Moving.
that. Yeah.
Right. So everyone kind of experiences this like almost like temporal but like physical weird effect, right? And you see things slightly different. Everyone kind of sees different trails or has different hallucinations. This Lanmoa mushroom is the only substance that I could find um that always elicits, Stephen, in over 90% of people who
Oh
take
my
it.
god.
Stephen, it's about 96, I think, last time when I was reading it. But but it's over 90, which is way significant, right?
Means
Stephen,
it's gonna happen way more times than not.
exactly. Stephen, they have Lilliputian hallucinations, which means they see little people. Okay? Stephen,
Bro,
every
that's fey magic. That's just fey magic.
That's what I'm saying. Steven, when I found out about this, I just like sat there looking at my desk at work for like 10 minutes. Just like, okay, so what? How does this happen, right? And I understand. Like I am if you're watching the show for the first time, you're like, what is this? Woo woo. Not no. I am the most skeptical person in the universe. I am very much a Mulder-esque person. I want to believe. I don't believe, but I'm looking for a reason if you'll give it to me. And so far, nothing has. Like I find like I find fun and like beauty in the ambiguity of everything. I don't see any and there's something to be said about like the ineffable reality that we live in. Like I don't know what's going on out there, and neither do you, and that's great. However, when I hear that people study this mushroom and when they take it, they see hundreds of tiny 2 centimeter gnome people marching and climbing around their home consistently. Dude, consistently.
Why?
I don't know, and neither does anyone else. And it
Now, the
and
only thing I could say, have they ever tried to do like a study where they give two people at the same time or multiple people at the same time, and do they see the same little people?
dude, that's
Like
that's
literally, like, hey, that's George. That's George, the little person. Like that's Fred. Like, do they see like individuals, or is it just a trip of the brain? And
the,
why? But why does the brain cause that specific hallucin? I don't understand.
this is why we're best friends, Steven, because like what you're going through is exactly what I went through, and I had all of those same questions. The problem is it's okay. One, it's not something that's recreationally done. And it is something that's been known about for a long time. Like I think it was like one of the first times it was documented was like in the early 30s or so, or like 1903. I forget. I might be mixing that up. But regardless, it's been known for a while. It's not like, oh, this is a new discovery from 2022 or whatever. It's something that people have known about and have categorized. But it's not something people seek out. There have been an absurd amount of like hospitalizations from this because people trip on this and see these little people and think they're insane. Because they're like, oh my gosh, something's happened to me. What's going on? And they go to the hospital and they keep them hydrated and they take care of them. And Steven, here's the like one of the not the craziest and the craziest thing is the fact that everyone's seeing tiny gnomes, and that's like absolutely bonkers and beautiful and wonderful and weird. But one of the craziest things, Steven, is that it takes about 12 hours to kick in, first of all, which is ludicrous.
So you
Like,
could have had it for lunch, and it could have been undercooked.
yep,
You wouldn't have even known,
you
and
wouldn't even
then
know. And then you're just like on the bus, and suddenly like, you're just like, oh no, I have to get off now. And you're like, I can't. There's a sea of gnomes. Like, what
there's
do I
just like a
do?
pile of little people in the shape of a bus driver driving, and like,
Oh my God, I love it. Steven, okay. Not only does it take 12 hours to kick in, this is the craziest part. It lasts for 1 to 3 days.
oh my god,
But
that's
dude,
if that's not Fey magic, then what is it?
I right, that's it. Okay, that's exactly where my brain goes. Now, I'm not saying now, yes, of course. I'm not saying there are definitely hundreds of gnomes all over my desk, but there are hundreds of gnomes all over my desk, and I just want to be friends with them. And I don't understand why they don't talk to me. And I need these mushrooms so I can meet them and do all of the tests that you're suggesting. So, Stephen, there is a botanist because it is something that hasn't been widely studied. They don't know what the psychoactive active ingredient is. It's not psilocybin. It's a different substance or a different, series or chemical makeup or whatever. But dude, so there's someone who's at least been studying it. Like a professor's been trying to figure out the consistency and like how this is working, why this is working, what they see. And he he was like he took these mushrooms and experienced this himself to experience it, to see what it's like. And he said he lifted up his rug expecting to see something from because this happens so often. But when he did, he saw hundreds of these tiny little gnomes marching beneath his carpet. And he put it down. He was like not expecting to see the exact same thing when you lifted it again, and he did. It was the exact same thing with them like all in place, kind of marching like almost like
Dude, we
soldiers.
should try to contact this professor and be like, yo,
Here's
fly
the
Anthony, or we'll fly out and
oh
just, I
please
want Anthony and I together in a room
oh
so that way we can
100%,
trip simultaneously, and then we can see if we see the same people, see if we can make contact,
dude.
see
Oh
if
my
like,
God. I'm begging you, please, if you're out there and you have these mushrooms, I would like them because I mean, I'd have to. The problem, Steven, is it lasts 1 to 3 days, and you
yeah,
have to.
that's a week off of work. That's a week.
It's a week off of work, and it's a week in which you have to be like, okay, I have to make sure something's happening. Like my children are completely taken care of. There are no issues here. There are not going to be any emergencies. No one's going to call me because I can't look at a casket with a bunch of gnomes on it. Like that would be that's just like it's too like it's already enough. To look at like the surreal, just when people get hurt, something bad happens. There's already like this surreal, weird like veil that happens. It's like they don't look like themselves, or this is crazy. Well, how did I get here? I can't imagine hundreds of gnomes also being there with me. I guess you're
There's
not alone.
That's such a
Uh,
weird specific. And you'd think something would have made fun of that or referenced that or done that. And is
yeah,
Gulliver's Travels an actual like biography
yes,
now? And did he accidentally consume one of those
that's
mushrooms?
Steven. That's what I'm wondering. Like there's nothing to say that there's no way to tell that someone didn't consume a similar mushroom or similar substances and see fairies and see fey creatures. Not that that makes them real or substantive, but like at least explains it
It
in
definitely
some way.
explains why like people are like, no, this shit's real. I
Yeah,
seen it. I
I've
seen
seen
it.
it. Yeah, and
Could you
it's like
imagine like if someone like just imagine if like that was written because some sailor was like in like a port that he wasn't familiar with, accidentally ate one of those mushrooms, and then they
well,
dock on an island within 13 hours of consuming his lunch,
right.
and he just
Well,
this is an
well,
island of gnomes.
Well, when you think about like the way our bodies work and the way we all kind of digest food differently, to an extent, obviously we all have great similarities. We're the same species, but like your body responds to avocado in a way my body doesn't respond to avocado. Like or it's like we have different responses. So maybe there are some people who have similar responses to this mushroom with other foods that they haven't reconciled. So
Mm.
maybe there are people who maybe they with various combinations of chemicals that they've consumed have seen these things because it's had the same response in their body. I don't know. I just find it so
Why is it
fascinating that
always mushrooms, dude? Why is
that
it
is
always
very
mushrooms that do some
interesting.
weird stuff?
Yeah.
Weren't
Mush
mushroom? Wasn't there like a mushroom forest before there were trees or something like in like I think mushroom weren't the fungi before trees? I think so. I think they were before the very first tree ever broke Earth
Oh
on our
yeah.
planet. I believe it was giant mushrooms. I could be wrong, but I'm
That'd be
pretty
crazy.
certain that they're a pretty ancient species of
But
thing.
I just can't get over it. And
It's
if
just
you're
I don't understand why these trips are so specific. Like the same with like the DMT. Like why do they see those
oh,
elves? Like those
okay, so
like
I
mechanical
wanted I
elves or
wanted to bring
whatever?
yes. So I wanted to bring that up too because I know a lot of people when I brought this up online, people were commenting about DMT. I see them as different creatures, like different situations, but also similar. It is strange that there happen to be these other psychoactive substances that also create these ideas of mechanical elves or like machine elves, like elves in the
Mm-hmm.
or just the fact that people truly experience in any sense some sort of like structural blueprint esque reality where like they kind of go into the first draft or so to speak or like
Mm.
like underneath the layer of of they go beneath the material layers, so to speak. I just think it's bonkers. Regardless of obviously they're tripping out, but it's just like it's strange how consistent it is, like you said. And I think that consistency is what makes it so interesting. And that's why this one in particular is fascinating to me. Because I don't care if people see like dragons and whatever, and you're like I saw it, like I swear I saw a goldfish and it was in the sky. I was like that's fun and weird that our brains will do that, but I also dream. I have weird dreams. I have weird thoughts. I can imagine goldfish, so I get that. I can picture like I can imagine hundreds of gnomes crawling and falling on my lamp or whatever.
Yeah, but
Like,
why would that happen?
but
Because you ate
yeah,
that. I wouldn't. I don't think about gnomes often enough to generate that image.
100%, dude. And the thing is, it happens to everyone regardless of whether or not they know about that happening. I understand because if you're out there right now and you're like, of course, if you know that it's going to give you gnomes, you're probably going to see gnomes and when you hallucinate because you're blah, blah, blah. I get it. If you're predisposed to that idea, you're more likely to experience that particular hallucination. But it happens to people who had no idea. It happens to people who didn't even realize it was a psychoactive substance, and suddenly they're seeing tiny people consistently. I just think that's fascinating. If you don't, that's fine. But we do.
Are they clothed?
That's a good question. I believe they are, but that is a good question. I want to look more into this. I just started trying to figure out if like if there have been any studies and stuff. But I'll keep looking into it and I'll keep you guys updated.
That's
If
so strange. That just it's like
Yeah,
mind
yeah.
breaking.
It's mind breaking. That's what I said. It's literally mind breaking. All right, all right. So next on our list, let's talk about this week with our comic books, dude, because like we've been working really hard and we did get some really good news this week. So
Yes, we did.
how have you been doing with our book? Like tell
Been
people.
I've been doing. I just literally whenever I work, like during the week, I just work, and then I get home, I shower, and then I kind of chill for like a minute, and then I just start drawing until my iPad dies, which just happened actually right before the
Oh,
podcast.
dude. Oh, I know the okay, so the way this works is Steven does the line art, or I write the comic books that we work on. Steven does the line art, and he passes it back to me to do flat colors, and I pass it back to him to do shading, and he passes it back to me to do the lettering of the comic book with like balloons and such. And then we essentially like do the finishing touches, and that's it. So right now I'm doing flats, and Steven's continuing to do the inks, the pencils and inks. Steven, like I my freaking tablet has died every time. Like every day I'm working on it, I'm working on it until my tablet dies, basically. And I'm just like,
Yep. That's
there
what I
goes
have to do
there
because
goes that.
and then there's charge time in between, and I can't work on mine while it's charging.
I
Which
can't, yeah.
sucks.
I mean,
But
well, I can. It's just so inconvenient for the way like our
mm-hmm.
workstation and like living room setup. If I'm in the office, I can, but like it's not comfortable. I don't want to be like, I'm sorry, my wife, come sit in here, and like we sit on the
Mm-hmm.
couch and watch movies together while I color, and you know, but that's what we're doing right now. It's we had a deadline that we could make, but we're pushing to the extent of like hurting ourselves, and we're trying to not do that. So I asked, I was trying to
Mm-hmm.
figure out with the people who commissioned this book when our actual deadline is, and we found out. So we have like about a week extra time, which is really nice
Mm-hmm.
for us. So we're definitely going to get this done. It's like a sexy horror comedy adventure book. It's about a vampire. Well, it's about a coven of vampire hunters who are trying to kill this terrible head vampire monster woman. And the way they have to kill her is by finding her heart, which the vampire, has split and hidden around the world, essentially. Because I thought that was a cool idea, because you have to stake a vampire's heart, destroy the entirety of the heart in order to kill the creature. So the best way to do it is to keep the heart alive in separate areas, so no one can ever find it, so you're always invincible. So there's this group of hunters who are going around the world. They found this map, and they're going to find the pieces of her heart and kill her while she's
Too
also.
bad this baddie's got heart cruxes. Am I right?
I love you. But that's what we're working on. It's called Bloodlust, and like it's going pretty well. I'm excited. We'll share it with everyone once there's like a collection of it, and we can do our own cover and stuff and get it out into the world in a way that is digestible. But yeah, that's what we're working on. And then aside from what we're working on, Steven, we do have some questions from the college.
Ooh.
Would you hit me with sweet song?
The campfire is big this time, you guys didn't fuck it up last week. You properly extinguished the fire after we asked all of the questions. So we're inviting you back, and I hear you got more. So it's questions from the colony with Steven and Anthony. We're gonna answer all your questions, cause you put out fires right. Fires right.
Questions from Colony. So every once in a while, my best friend and I, we do the show every single week. We've never missed a week in freaking 6 years we've been doing this thing. And people still show up, so thank you. So we give people the opportunity to ask us whatever the heck they want. Sometimes it's about the comic books we make. Sometimes it's about creating things. Sometimes it's just about things in the world. We like talking about horror movies and various, superhero stuff and silly theories and that sort of thing. So people ask us all sorts of questions. This week, Steven, we have some good ones, I think. So
Ooh.
I'm gonna hit you with this one, Steven. This one's like, it's a good question, right? So we have a question from Thea Landon. She says, "Does Medusa have snakes for pubes, Steven?"
She has to, right? One would think she has like baby snakes, right? Like
Are
smaller
they?
snakes.
I feel like, oh man, like okay, not baby snakes, but little snakes. I feel like that's appropriate. Something about baby snakes
No, yeah, I don't.
going down
I'm not saying. I mean,
there.
like, yeah, I meant like smaller snakes because
Yeah,
it's
she has
different
she has those
sizes.
little snakes down there. She's
Somehow, baby snakes would make it inappropriate,
it doesn't
but
make any
yes.
sense. I would say okay. I
The
will
word
also
baby being anywhere close, I get it. I get where your brain's at. But yeah,
yeah.
no, just like garden snakes or whatever they're called,
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
little
Okay,
ones.
okay. So it depends on the version of Medusa, Thea. If it's the human body snake-haired Gorgon version of Medusa, yeah, definitely snakes for pubes. If it's the snake body version with snakes for hair, Super Gorgon version of Medusa, I don't think she has pubes because she's all reptile, right? Like she's like reptile with
Yeah,
extra
I think she would
reptiles.
she would have what's it called,
A
a
cloaca,
coagula,
cloaca.
coagula. Yeah, that's a cloaca. Yes,
Coagula. I like that it's a cloaca who also drinks blood. It's like, I'm like
I think cloacula.
cloaca.
Wait, what was our ostrich god?
Oh my God. Cool.
I think it was cloacula or something like
Clo-
that.
If you, I
It's
know
something like
someone out there is
that's
gonna be
probably.
like, you know, it's this. Tell us what it is because we haven't talked about it in a while. It's pretty funny actually. But all hail of ostrich god. Okay, let me see. So Desperation at Scavi Go asks, "Do you think dark matter could explain mythologies about the Fae?" Okay, I'm gonna say one. I don't have enough knowledge about dark matter to
I
answer
know
this,
nothing about dark matter. I
but
know
I
it has
will.
something to do with black holes and like
Yeah,
in
no,
between
I'll
and
tell you. I'll tell you why I don't think it has something to do with the Fae. Oh, okay, I'll tell you this. It could potentially have something to do with the Fae if the Fae are never in our realm. But I do know enough about dark matter to know that when it comes in contact with actual matter, it combusts. Like they can't exist in the same place. So I'd like to imagine that. I mean, if
so it's
that's
the anti-life equation from what's his
well,
face?
wait,
What's the
maybe
dark
I'm
side?
ooh, maybe I'm definitely thinking of antimatter. So maybe if dark matter is different than antimatter, then again defer to my initial statement. I just don't know enough about dark matter to know. But yeah, if it's similar to antimatter, then no. If it's not, it's another thing. Then yeah, that definitely, absolutely, 100% that explains the mythology about Fae because I don't know any better. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I will look into it and I'll get back to you. I promise. Um, KT Carlisle, my lovely wife, asks, "What do you think the gnomes look like? Do you think the gnomes are friendly?" Okay, what do you think? Let's answer those two before we go into our last question.
So if I'm assuming they got to have the little like wizard beanie hat thing, they need like sewn together like overcoats and
Okay.
like
Yeah, yeah.
like leggings with like booties, and that's what I big old buckle belt,
I
like that's
sure
how
hope
I'm
so.
imagining them.
Are they friendly? I hope. Yeah, I mean, they better be. Or
It sounds to me like the way you've described it to me is that they're just busy doing something.
doing
Like
stuff.
you're interrupting their work, but you're not even being looked at.
Steven, I'm like, here's the thing, dude. My biggest fear right now with these gnomes is that I'm accidentally like interfering with what they are trying to do all the time. So like anytime I have bad luck, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, gnomes. I didn't mean it. Like, I don't know. I can't see you. If I could see you, I would avoid you or I'd at least say, excuse me.
Absolutely.
I'm not trying to be a jerk, gnomes. So like what I don't know what you're doing. Maybe you don't even care. You know, maybe it's like they look at us the way we look at ants because we don't, because we just keep walking. You know what I mean? Like I don't even see you down there. They're like, I'm too busy. I'm like doing my gnome work. So yeah, I don't know. I hope they're friendly though. I would love to be friends with gnome. Her last question, KT's last question is, whose baby is bad baby? Steven, I need to explain this real quick, okay? Because okay, you know, dreams are sometimes interesting when people tell you dreams, but often when people are like, I had a dream, it's like, okay, well, I mean, this could go one of two ways. You know, it's either going to be like a scary, weird, interesting dream, or something that you had to be there and you're going to talk for like 3 minutes. And I love you, so I'm going to listen. And I've also had dreams, so we're going to try to bond over this. But also, it's really hard because like it's a dream and it's hard to explain and none of it makes sense. This is both of those, so I'm sorry. And also, you're welcome. I don't know. Steven, last night, last night I had a dream that I was walking in this haunted esque place, like this terrifying looking building, right? And I'm walking in there,
Okay.
and I got the feeling that I was looking for something spooky. I'm like ghost hunting. I'm like, I need to find a spooky thing, you know? And I'm going through the building, and there's nothing. And like I'm just like, this is a bust, you know? Like nothing. And then I hear like a whisper from one of the rooms. That's just like, and I was like, I don't know what that was, but it's exactly what I need in my life right now. I'm gonna go look and see what that terrifying
This
whisper
is
was.
what my dream is about, so I'm
Yeah,
going for it.
yeah. I'm gonna yes and this narrative. I'm gonna, you know, like the call to adventure came, and I was like, yes, please, be right there. So like I walk into this room, and it's just more spook. It's more spooky stuff. I'm just like, all right, dilapidated stuff. I get it. My dream me is like on the ball with this. I'm just like, okay, stacks of like old newspapers, raggedy like curtains, everything's as spooky as could be. We did a good job setting the scene, but I need some monsters, right? Steven, I start from like beneath the newspapers. I hear, ah, baby, like that. And I was like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what you're saying. And I was like, hello? I did the like Pablo Francisco like 100%. Like, is anyone in here? I'm gonna get naked and take a shower. Like, I was not subtle about this. I was just like, hey, if you're spooky, come be spooky, come scare my soul. Let's do this, dude. What
I'm in your
jumped
room. You
out?
better come pound me.
It's stupid. What jumped out at me was a like literally, I think it's because I was thinking about these little gnomes all day, right? Because it was literally a tiny guy, right? It was one tiny guy, but it was a baby. It was a 100% tiny little pure baby in a diaper, but it flung up like a bouncy ball that you get in one of those quarter machines if you're a
Oh yeah,
million
yeah,
years
yeah,
old.
yeah.
Those are the ones that had like extra bounce where you're like, oh, they put all
Oh
their
yeah.
experience points into the bounce. So dude, it was one of those. So it's just flinging off, and as it hits the wall, it goes bad baby, and just hits the wall, and it bounces off the next one. And it goes bad baby, and it hits the wall, and it keeps
What
happening.
the
And I'm like,
hell?
dude, and I'm like dodging this thing like a cartoon, just like what the hell is happening? And I'm just like, I don't know. So finally, I catch it. And it goes, and it looks at me, and it's creepy, and it's like this big, and it's a baby, but it looks scary, like a creepy baby, and it's like bad baby, and like, dude, I was freaked out. So like I threw it and I was like, so as I left,
It bounces. We're
it
safe.
no,
It's
it was like
okay. It'll
bounce,
be all right.
dude. It was fine. It was fine. It was bouncing around. As I left, it started going to saying "bad baby," but it was like sad. So I was like, now you're sad, baby. I
Bad
have to go
baby.
back. You can't say sad, baby. So I went back and I was like, okay, sad, baby. I'll help you. So like I tried to find it and I got him. And I don't remember. And this is the part where I'm like, I hate this part of dreams where it was like dream logic where like I don't even know what happened next. Like I fed it or something. And then suddenly it was a toddler. Like, but it was only this big. Like, so like it was like, how it was baby size, but it was a toddler in attitude. So it was like, but it kept saying bad baby. It was so crazy.
Never expanded its
He
vocabulary
never
during
expanded his
its
vocabulary. And I
growth.
was trying my best. Anyway, I was a terrible father to this bad baby. I wanted nothing to do with it, but I was felt miserable. I felt like really bad leaving it behind, so I kept trying to take care of it, and it's running around. It was going crazy. Dude, I woke up just going, bad baby. Like I literally, as I woke up, I was just like, bad baby, bad. And I dude, I said bad baby right in my wife's face. And then I saw her, yeah, baby, and I kissed her, and I was like, she probably thinks I'm like being kinky or something. Like, I don't know what this
Bad baby.
bad baby.
No, there's this crazy dream
Dude,
going
it was
on.
so
And
weird. It's just one of those. My only explanation for it is the fact that I was studying those mushrooms all morning. So I was like, I imagine that's what it was. So weird. But anyway, whose baby is bad baby? The devil's probably is my answer. I have no idea. My wife. All right. Our good friend Daily Downing says, and this is, oh my God, Steven, this is your question. Okay. You've been picked as tribute in a non-lethal Hunger Games type competition. Which video game character do you choose as your mentor to help secure your win?
mentor, who's gonna make a man out of me? I'm gonna go with the hero of time, but like the shade of the hero of time. So if you know, you know. But basically, in Ocarina of Time, when you beat the game, you get sent back as a child, and that's what Majora's Mask is. Well, there's a theory that because you get trained by the hero that failed or whatever,
Mhm.
and I want to be trained by him because he teaches all the awesome sword techniques. He's actually in Twilight Princess, but be cool to like learn all the ins and outs of sword. I mean, I guess I don't know what weapon I would want to be good at. I don't know who needs to teach me, but Link, I feel like Link has survived some shit. So I feel
Oh,
like I could I could learn some heroing
yeah,
through the hero of time. So
that'd be pretty awesome. All right, I
that's
like
my
it.
go.
I like it. Yeah. All right, we're gonna go with that because I've been talking too much, and I feel like okay. So our new friend Dal at Dead on the Page asks or says, since we were on the subject earlier, if Scud the Disposable Assassin was ever made into an animated series, who do you think should voice the character? Fun fact: at the time of the release, Rob Schrab imagined John Malkovich as the voice. That's cool. I didn't know that. Dude, okay, wait. Let me talk about this guy for a second because this is really interesting, right? So I made a post and I was like, "Hey, who's the most like underrated DC and Marvel characters? Like give me a character that you're like this character deserves all the love and gets none." Because I feel like, we don't hear about those enough. Like a lot of people are like, "I just want to hear about the big one, big four, whatever, the Mount Rushmore." Anyway, Dow posted and said, I know this isn't Marvel or DC, but I'm going to say it anyway because I want any excuse to talk about this character, Scud, the disposable assassin. I was like, I'm so glad you said that, even though this has nothing to do with DC or Marvel, because I love Scud, the disposable assassin. It's one of my like biggest influences as a person and a creator. Um, Dude, listen to like how weird this is. I was like, oh, you like Scud and like Rob Schraub stuff. Have you ever heard of Harmontown? You might, because like Rob Schraub is on Harmontown sometimes. It's my favorite podcast of all time. And he's like, oh my God, yeah, I loved Harmontown, especially the Rob Schraub episodes. And I was like, so Steven, I was like, hey, do you remember that shirt that Spencer on that podcast wore? I was the one who drew that shirt. Like, I love that show. And he's like, oh my God, you're Agrojag? I wanted to get this shirt from you and blah, blah, blah.
Oh
And
my god,
how cool is that? So anyway, I just thought that was really neat. So now we're friends.
that's so crazy.
What are the
That's
odds
such
of
a
that?
crazy. Yeah, like that's so crazy. Like the person who's you're randomly just meeting online
And we
who's
just
not
happen to,
really as
yeah, and we've
you're
already like
basically that's
accidentally
crazy.
connected. It's like synchronicity. It's amazing. But my answer is, let me think. Um,
I
oh,
know a Marvel or DC character, and I know you'll agree with me
yeah,
here.
yeah.
I feel like Phantom X, like his introduction in Uncanny X Force for me, like I never knew who Phantom X was, and like
Phantom X is
I feel
really
like
good.
that's a really cool. He's a really cool character. That wasn't the question, though, was it? No,
No,
that
no,
was
but
the
that's okay.
question you
But Phantom X
asked
is good.
asked
But
online.
no, no, I like that
Sorry.
question. That's a great
Who do you
answer
want
though.
to
Phantom X.
voice Scud?
Well, I would choose Sam Rockwell, I think. I think Sam Rockwell would do a really good job. And he's one of those people who's like he wouldn't be right for him physically, especially now. I mean, he probably could have done it, but no one's good physically for like a live action. But for animated, I think Sam Rockwell would be awesome. Especially seeing him in like what do you call it? What was it called? Have fun, don't die. Hang on, crap. What was that movie called? Let me see. Hang on. Be safe, fun. I think it's be safe, have fun, don't die. Oh, good luck, have fun, don't die. Okay, so especially seeing him in like my God, my brain. Good luck. Okay, especially seeing him in Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Like he's just good as like that eccentric character who can pull that stuff off and also have heart. So like I could totally see him doing it. Steven, the next one's an interesting question. It's from Allison Weaver Dyke, I think. It says, I don't have a question so much as a topic. Fan films. I saw a Nightmare on Elm Street fan film at a fest recently, and it honestly never occurred to me to put so much time and effort into something like that. Are they common? Is it something film students do for practice? So, what's funny? It's like and the reason I think this is such an interesting question is like we so often think of only making things that we personally can sell. Like that we
Mm-hmm.
can legally monetize in some way. And I think that's true for a lot of people's hobbies these days. Like everyone's monetizing their joy essentially. And it's tricky, right? Because like it stops you from having that level of freedom. Like if someone right now was like, "Oh man, I really wanted to like make a movie of Play It Again or whatever," it would be weird for us to see someone do that and be like, if they're financially benefiting from it, like that Hulu
Yeah.
movie. But like at the same time, it would be really cool. So it's like this weird conundrum of like fandom. Like what do you do? But to answer the question, like Steven, do you remember that really cool Batman short film that had like a boner from full not Full House, Step by Step on it, and it was where he fought the Predator. He
Yeah,
fights
I
the
think yeah,
Joker and Predator. You remember that? It
I
was
do remember that. Yeah.
yeah, it was
There was also a there was also like a Mortal Kombat series on YouTube prior to like the remake of the new Mortal Kombat movies where people
yeah.
just like they put a lot of time and effort into it, and they made like pretty cool looking characters and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
So I know people do it, and I know. Okay, so there's so Dan Harmon and Rob Schraub. I know they used to have a friendly situation that kind of grew into Channel 101, where people would make pilots and shorts and such, and share them with the community. But they would make like, all right, this week we're gonna make a Batman movie. So they'd both like go off and they'd make their own silly like version of a Batman film in their house, and they didn't share it everywhere. They weren't like, oh, we're gonna make money with this. They just did it and then had like a film festival for themselves, which I think is so much fun. But like, not everyone has time to do that, especially now with like families and we have comic books to make and more jobs and all this stuff. But I love the idea. So I know for a fact people are clearly doing it. We have a good friend Levi who definitely makes Tremors fan films with and wants everyone else in the world to make Tremors fan films, and you should if you're interested. So yeah, there are definitely people out there, and honestly, it's I don't know how common it is, but it's definitely good practice because everything is right. I mean, like
and then you have the details of the characters and stuff like that, so you actually have like not an easier time, but there's more like you as a fan love this universe so much that you want to
yeah,
inject your love of that universe into something. It's going to make you pass. It's kind of like when I drew that deer hunter thing with like all
yes,
the acts
exactly.
and stuff like that. There is some sort of like real joy, like when something really touches you or something
Yeah.
like really gets into your system, like expelling it in art is really enjoyable. It's really fun. So I mean, that's why fanfic, like writing, exists all across the internet. So
100%. Yeah, so I will say practice makes progress. So, if you need something to help you like learn directing and editing and you're not someone who wants to write your own original thing or like or if you want to write something original but you want some inspiration from something you already love, then you might as well just use something that you've seen and that you love and learn, the lighting techniques and whatever you want to do. It's good practice. I don't see why not. But yeah, I think that's interesting. I'd like to watch a Nightmare on Elm Street fan film. That's so strange and cool. I want to make one, Steven. No, so okay, let's see. Our next question comes from. We only have two more questions. So Charlie says, "I don't think NFL Super Pro gets discussed enough." Steven, I didn't know this was a thing, but I guess do you know about NFL Super Pro?
superhero, yeah,
Yeah,
he's like a Marvel superhero, isn't
he's
he?
a Marvel superhero who's like an NFL pro. I did not. It's now I haven't looked into this very much. I just saw like pictures of it and stuff, but it sounds like the most B list DC superhero character that Marvel has to offer. That's what it sounds like to me. Because like, dude, DC has a million of those characters. Marvel has them too. Don't get me wrong. Marvel has a lot of characters that are lesser known and like B tier, like lower level characters. Nothing compared to DC, dude. I'll go out. I'm not saying quality wise. I'm saying quantity wise. Like DC has an entire encyclopedia of characters that you've never heard of that are bonkers. I mean, I always
Just
bring up Brother Power the Geek, who's the clothing store mannequin that had like a hippie's vest put on him with a little blood and lightning struck, and it was groovy vibes and lightning brought him to life. It's bonkers. Like, I mean, that's DC is crazy, but this the NFL Super Pro is also very interesting. I'm gonna look that up because I don't know much about him. Our final question comes from Frankie, who asks, "What character on Sesame Street would get along with Teddy Ruxpin?" I mean, I'm gonna say Big Bird because they both had that situation where you put a tape in their belly and they're like, "We have a." I mean, you probably have meetings to because you survived whatever that situation was.
I mean, Big Bird's just friendly. Snuffleupagus would probably be friendly too.
Mhm.
Um, Elmo is up for debate because I feel like Elmo really hates Rocco, and I think it's a possibility that he could really hate Teddy Ruxpin.
Yeah.
Like it. Teddy sounds like a more movable version of Rocco, and that just sounds
Right.
horrible for Elmo. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think Big Bird. I think Big Bird's the go.
I think so too. Okay, so those are our questions from the colony. If you have questions for us, make sure you ask them below, or you can just, follow me on Twitter, and I'll every once in a while I ask. We also have a Facebook group. I'll post a link below, and I like to, post there so people can ask whatever questions they want. But aside from that, Steven, what are we going to work on this week?
I'm gonna grind through these pages of Bloodlust. I believe, including 8, there's 5 left. 8, 9, 10,
Yeah.
11, 12. Yeah, 5 left. But I'm already in the process of 8, and it's
Heck,
Tuesday, so I'm gonna try to get it done before next podcast. But I think we have till next Friday. But I'm trying to get it done by like next podcast. So
nice. All right, cool. I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm gonna color my face off. I'm gonna do as much as I can this week. I should be able to get a lot done. I have
by
a
the
good.
way, 7 and 8 especially, those backgrounds, man, just drop
Oh,
some grayish.
yeah,
Just drop some grayish because I can dabble in. If you want to color some of the skin, but like
right.
keep the skin grayish toned even. You know what I'm saying? Just keep
Yeah.
everything like one. That way you don't have to drive yourself crazy trying to color
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that.
Okay, okay. I'll keep it in mind. I'm trying to be more like going forward after the page I'm on, I'm gonna start doing slightly more abstract like art, so I'm gonna be artistic with the colors a little bit because I've been very specific with everything. So we'll get into it. But aside from that, that's what we're working on this week. Thank you all for participating in this. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for watching our show. If this is your first time watching, please hit the subscribe button. Share our show with everyone you've ever seen because we're just a little baby channel. We're a little bad baby, a little bad baby channel bouncing around, hoping people like
And
us.
we're a sad baby channel.
Sad baby channel. If you're out there and you know anyone who has a YouTube account at all, get them, take their phone, subscribe from their phone, and also or comment something for the algorithm. We need you guys. Tell us like, what do you think Bad Baby's real name is? What do you think the gnomes look like? Was Bad Baby sent by the gnomes to tell us to stop thinking about him? Because I'm interested. Steven, I want this mushroom. I told my boss, I told Chris about this, and he was like, I'm gonna find it. I was like, you better, because I want to do this. We need to see these
Let me
gnomes
know,
there.
because maybe
Let me
I'll
know.
let Tina know too. Maybe we gotta figure out what these gnomes are all about.
It would be insane. That'd be the funniest thing that's ever happened if we just all saw a bunch of gnomes. My fear, Steven, my fear is that I would be the one case where it's just like perpetual. Like it just always happens. It's just like this is my life now. I just always see gnomes and I'm just like,
It's
well, I
permanent.
guess. And because I feel like even if I gnome, even if like you tell me you're like, no, they're an illusion, right? I'm still gonna walk around them and say, excuse me. I'm still gonna like I'll see him be like, oh, I'm sorry, Jerry. You know, like there's no chance I can just like walk on them and be like, no big deal. You know, like I'm probably walking on them all day, but I don't want to do it on purpose, you know? Anyway, thank you all for being a part of this. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening to us ramble on and caring about our comic books at all. Please go check out our books. And also, there's still time to back my wife's book on Kickstarter. I'll post the link below. She's met her third freaking stretch goal, which means people are going to get pens and bookmarks and all kinds of cool stuff just for being a physical backer at all. So go check that out. But otherwise, thank you all. Until next
We
week,
love
I'm
you.
Anthony,
I'm Stevie Wildcard.
and this has been We Have Issues. We love you, and we'll see you next time.
What do you think of this needle drop? Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Perfect. Perfectly themed for the episode.
So good. I was like, oh man, he's gonna do the whole song. We're gonna be here for a little bit. When he gets to that chorus and it's boom 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 boom.
A little.
All right. Anyway, I love you, dude. You're the best.